So my colleague and I were assigned by our manager to provide a full presentation after 1 week. And we divided the job 50-50. We did our due diligence and we made the dry run successfully. And this was done before the presentation day. We had 1 day before the actual presentation. Only that day, when it came, my colleague and I were noticing our manager. We were just calm, watching him silently, waiting for him just send an email and say to us that we need to start, but nothing happened. And in our manager's case, he used or he's still traveling all the time because of multiple business trips he has. And that's why his office is always a cubicle. We stared at him like this. Did he say something to you? Did he send an email to you or something? Anything that suggests that we need to start? No, nothing. Like as if he didn't give us a date to present. So we were questioning this behavior from our manager, and this kept going for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and we said, okay, that's fine. Maybe he has a lot of work he needs to do, a lot of meetings within the project. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and we waited. 2 weeks later, still nothing happened, and we noticed that he was on a business trip. This made us curious more and more. What happened to the presentation? We understand if it was a low priority, but at least something would suggest that we need to stop continuing, right? Because we had also other jobs to do. Not as important as him, but obviously we were busy as well. So we asked, or my friend, who is a socially active person, he asked a lot of employees. He almost knew all the department employees. And he said, is this a normal behavior from the manager to do or not? And they said, no, it's not. And they were mid-experienced employees. They knew the environment of the work and they got used to situations like this. And they told us that, no, this is not a normal behavior from the manager to do it. We said, okay, that's fine. Just save it on a file and wait for the manager to come to us and say that we need to start. We waited and waited. And I never forget this day. 35 days later, the day after I got my delicious V60 Colombian coffee, ice of course, and it was in the afternoon, so it was immediately after the break. I got it, I sat in my office, cubicle, and I checked my emails, like always. I check them always at the beginning of the work and after the break. And then I see this shocking email of the manager telling us that, hey, let's go. Bring the slides. And I ask myself, what slides exactly? I couldn't ask him, of course. So I questioned with myself. And then I remembered, I said, the presentation. Oh my God. The presentation. As soon as I was trying to text my friend to come, he was walking so fast toward me. And from the look on his face, I said, yeah, I don't need to tell him anything. He knew exactly what the situation was. So he came to me and said, Ahmed, do you have the file? And I said, yes, I have it. But wait, we need to revise the work. We need to review a lot of details. Maybe we forgot. We need to make the dry run again. He said, no, we don't have time. Come. They said, okay, let's go. And during the time we were heading to the presentation room, my friend and I kept blaming each other, even though we had an amazing teamwork. I was shouting at him, why did we have to wait for 1 week to finish? Why didn't we just deliver the work as soon as we finished? And he said, I should have done this, but you did your research wrong, blah, blah, blah. And we said we should have just talked to him earlier instead of just waiting. But again, we thought he was busy and it would sound wrong and rude if we came to him and said we are ready before the day of the presentation. So we kept blaming each other. We kept justifying our causes. As soon as we came to the presentation room, it was a circle table filled with, as I said, 16 members in the previous video. And it was so official, like we were blindsided, and they agreed to trick us like this. So we came and we saw a lot of people preparing, and we questioned this. What is there, a secret chat between them or what? But this is not important anymore. We remained silent. We wait for them, and we started presenting the work. We would make our best to present everything that we remember, and we did that. But the presentation was not delivered successfully as we wanted, nor it was the standards that are acceptable with the management. And I sat after the presentation. I was so silent and shy, but my friend kept defending himself. I mean, I heard what he said. It was correct. Everything he said, his argument was correct. But the way he said it to the management, it sounded so wrong. So wrong. You know, the situation where you are right, but you look stupid? That's the situation. And I wanted to make him stop, but I couldn't. At the same time, he was just wanting to let it go, to let his emotions go and explain himself. So I said, okay, if it is ruined, then it's ruined. That's it. What could go wrong, right? More than that. It just made me sad to have a job that is so easy to be done, yet at the same time, the impression that they took from us was that we were not ready. And this made me so furious and disappointed. Not from me and from my friend, but from the management themselves. Why do you make this work so confusing? We should be able to do the job, and there are no hidden messages between the job itself. And I understand that maybe, we should always take the initiative and understand a lot of hidden messages ourselves without being helped by anyone. That's just office politics or office psychology. But at the same time, we were so respectful of the manager, and we didn't want to disturb him or make him annoyed because he was so busy. It made us so mad because you could be doing a lot of work and it could not be rewarded. So I came to realize that never ever ever let yourself completely in someone's hand, ever. If you trust your manager about something, who knows, maybe he will change the answer. Maybe he will blindside you without you knowing. Yeah, it's not fair, but it was a valuable lesson that you always and always must trust your gut. My gut was telling me all the time that I need to go to him and present my work, even 1 week before that. It doesn't need to be after 1 week. But I kept telling myself, no, he was busy. No, he has work more important than mine. No, he maybe will shout at me, or he maybe will give me a bad evaluation. I kept thinking about this, but my gut was telling me, no, go. He gave you a job and he asked you to finish the job, and you finished it before the week finishes. So go to him. And instead of you waiting for 35 days and then being blindsided by your manager, you should have just come and directed that to him. And maybe he was actually doing that on purpose. I seriously doubt that, but maybe he did it on purpose. Maybe he said, so they didn't come to me after 1 week? How rude. Why I, the manager, should come to them and ask them about their work? I mean, if we think about it like this, it makes sense, really. So if I was just able to provide a percentage, I guess it would be 52% us wrong and 48% him wrong. We were new. We didn't know this office politics, right? We were just coming from the university, spoiled people, waiting for the doctor to give them the grade. So we didn't know this new office politics. And 2 years of experience, but at the same time, 2 years in the company is still nothing. So he should have become a little bit cooperative, even though he is a manager, because we were new. We didn't understand this chain of command. If you like more content like this, I have a lot of stories about myself. I talk about my work and my personal lives. And for new people, I want you to stay on my channel because I show you how to communicate. Like now, I share stories about myself. You can write them down and write the sentences you feel you will use in your work or personal life. If you don't want to write, that's good. You just listen to what I say and choose 1 minute to 2 minutes to shadow what I say. Because everything I say, every story I tell is so common, is so famous to all of us. We all were put in a situation where we had to work with someone, right? We all were put in a situation where we dealt with ChatGPT, for example. So I share everything that is related to all of us, not just about myself. And for the new people and for people that are with me so far, stay tuned for the next video.